Action. Welcome to another episode of the Bottom Line Show, a show for you, the gamblers, with Adam and Frank. Frank, we're back once again here, my friend.
We're still on.
As usual, you didn't consult me on the dress code for some reason. I don't know why you didn't do that. You're trying to one-up me or something, or what?
I'm just glad you dressed up for the occasion here. I'm just happy about that.
Well, listen, Frank, I can't listen to any more of you. So we're going to go right into a man who's been bothering me the whole week, and that's Scott from Pennsburg with his fan rant of the week. Scott.
What's up, man? How are you?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
You're with Frank and Adam on the Bottom Line Show, a show for you, the gamblers. So what's your rant of the week, Scott?
Rant of the week's got to stay with the rant of the week from last week, man. It's got to be Denver again.
Denver again?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys. The reason I even wanted to be on this show, you hit the nail on the head last week. Everything you described about that Denver-Chicago game is what I lived through. So, and you know what? The worst is when a team hits you back-to-back like that. So that's what happened to me last week.
Why don't you go in a little bit more detail about exactly what you're talking about? Sort of like, play-by-play. What was happening?
What happened to you, Scott?
What emotions were you feeling during that contest?
You know what? I mean, when you put your faith in a team, you don't mind losing some games. But when it's to a team like Oakland, who doesn't even have a good quarterback playing, they got McNown in there. I mean, you saw Jamarcus get a couple of snaps, but when you go down the field and you score a touchdown quick, it's a little degrading when McNown marches right back down and scores another touchdown.
That is, you know what? That is a little brutal. I mean, that's kind of a tough beat there. What kind of things? I mean, obviously you got a team like Denver playing a team like Oakland. I mean, you got to feel pretty confident about that contest there.
And that's what I mean. I mean, all I needed them to do was win the game flat out. They didn't need to cover anything. I was actually getting a couple of points. And, if you look at Cutler's line, he had 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. 3 weeks ago they looked unstoppable versus the Tennessee Titans team, which has gotten a lot of respect this year. So to see them go down against Oakland, handily, if they didn't have Travis Henry, they might not have even been in that game at all. So
that's a tough position to be in. You know what I mean? One of those games where it could be one of those right side, wrong outcome games. Yeah. I mean, you really don't know.
You can go either way, Scott.
But that's why I call it gambling, Scott. Scott, we got to run. We want to thanks for the call, and keep emailing Adam over here. He likes to get these emails.
Well, you can't get rid of me now. I'm like a bad hair day.
He knows about those.
Yeah. Well, listen.
All right, Scott. We'll talk to you.
See you, man. Thanks.
Thanks, Scott, for calling. Frank, right now we're going to go into the coaching move of the week, which was the Giants-Bears game, where you either were crying tears of excitement or you had tears of a clown there if you had the Bears. Frank, why don't you go over what happened in this game, my friend?
Well, obviously it's a touchy contest. Giants, Bears. Giants, are right down there, doorstep, looking to close that game.
16-14, a minute 40 left, one timeout. All they really needed was a field goal. They were down 16-14. So if you're a Bears fan, you had plus 1.5, you would have covered the spread, 17-16. And that's all they had to do because they would have ran down the clock to about 4 seconds left. They would have won the game. However, if you bet the Giants in this game, you thought, hey, I'm going to lose this game because the coaching move Coughlin should have made was sit on the ball. You don't want the Bears to get the ball back.
Right.
But
what does he do? I mean, he calls a play.
A running play.
Calls a running play outside to score a touchdown. And again, I mean, if you bet the Giants, you're sitting there looking, you're happy. You're kind of excited, but you can't be too comfortable because you gave the Bears.
You get the Bears the ball back.
Bears have the football.
And you have to kick off to Devin Hester.
You have to kick off to Devin Hester. And, at that point, if another coach would have kicked off to Devin Hester, we talked about it last week, I would have put my foot through the TV because I can't take it anymore. I'm
Anything
tired
can
of it.
happen when that guy returns the kickoff.
Really does. But you got to think also, if you don't get killed by Hester, at least you're looking at a Bears offense that's basically completely inept. You don't think can drive the length of the field. Even with the Giants defense is maybe not playing
great.
And
you know what? They did get down to the 30-yard line on that. And really, if you bet the Giants, you're happy. And bottom line, you bet the Bears, you didn't. We're going to move now to a segment, what I call the backdoor cover of the week. And basically what that means is you backdoor to win. And this week we're going to use the Arizona State-Arizona game.
Or you can say you backdoor to loss.
Or a backdoor to loss as well. You either had tears of joy or tears of pain in that one.
Really?
But let's keep it clean for the viewers, okay?
Exactly. So you got a game here where Arizona State looking fine.
I was deeply involved in this game, Frank. And
that doesn't surprise me.
Arizona State was up by 10 in this game, and Arizona needed 2 scores, okay, to tie the game or to push the game, okay? So field goal, touchdown, okay? So they were Arizona State was 7-point favorite. So they moved down the ball at the end of the game, Arizona, and 2-yard line, 4th and goal, 1:30 left. Okay. Well, they're 7-point dogs. You need 2 scores.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
What do they kick a field goal there for the gambler gets a push? Everyone's happy. Win. You win. You don't lose. You tie. No, they don't do that. They go for it on 4th down and they don't make it.
If you're a coach, though, you get down to 4th and 2. If you're a coach now, assuming this coach doesn't have, hasn't played the game, he's got to score a touchdown there because you don't know how close you're going to get again.
Correct.
I say the coaching move. As opposed in the Giants game, this coaching move was probably the right move, in my opinion.
I hear you, but again, you
obviously,
still need 2 scores to
well,
tie
that's
the
true.
game.
That's true, but you're 2 yards away from a touchdown. Who knows if you're going to get that close
Well,
again.
anyway, Arizona doesn't get the 4th down. Now, they stop Arizona State, 3 and out. Arizona State punts. They get a bad punt at the 30-yard line, and with 30 seconds left, Arizona scores a touchdown for your backdoor of the week.
Now, that's tough. Again, it's one of those things. You get a backdoor win, kind of like, what it reminds me of is the Boston College game early in the year. I mean, they can't move the ball game. All of a sudden,
And
Matt
Virginia
Ryan wakes
Tech,
up, boom, boom, boom. Now, if you win that game, you're on the right side of it, you're ecstatic. If you lose that game, that's crushing. That takes a long time to come back from. But what we're going to move into now is, we did it last week, and I'm going to do it again. There's somebody that I got to call out. Again, I'm not going to use a name.
No names. It's
I'm not
a touter,
gonna use,
boys
I'm
and
not going
girls.
to use
It's
a.
a
I'm not going
touter.
to use a company name.
No.
I'm not going to really reference anything except to point out again that this gentleman, and I use that term loosely, is a movie made about him. Hollywood
Operates
movie.
in all honesty.
Al Pacino. Has anybody heard that name before? Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
This week, his big play of the week in college football was the Missouri Tigers in the Big 12 championship game against the Oklahoma Sooners.
And I want to tell you, awful pick there.
I mean, that is a terrible. Borderline, if this guy was a lawyer at suing for malpractice,
Oklahoma.
that's all. I mean, really, Oklahoma has got talent. Oklahoma has.
And they've been there before.
They've been there before. Everyone, you know what? He got held up just like a lot of other people. That Missouri had a lot of turnovers in their first game.
Destiny's
they played.
Darling, they're
Right.
due.
Right.
They haven't been there before.
Point
blah,
is,
blah, blah. Nothing.
Missouri beat an Illinois team that was a lot better than people thought. Beat a Kansas team. To me, that's overrated.
Overrated. They didn't beat anyone.
They played Oklahoma in this Big 12 championship and got their doors blown off like they should have. And this guy was just unbelievable. And you know what? I'll throw in a little mini one, too. Monday night, Pats again. And he had the under in that game. Neither one of them wasn't close on either one of them.
The guy could not hit water if he fell out of a boat right now.
He really couldn't.
Right.
But you know what? A lot of information this week. A lot of great games. Scott calling in was fantastic. We're going to get out of here. But
Give
one
the folks
thing.
the email address. Frank,
Emails.
for the
We
show.
want emails. We want your critiques, feedback, anything you guys want to talk about, rants. Don't forget to call in next week. You could be the one replacing Scott and Richie from last week. Email is going to be info@thebottomlineshow.com.
Remember, you're always on the right side
Take care.
with Frank and Adam. Take care.